Here in this 2015 Nissan Altima, we're going to be having a look at and showing you how to install the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector. And this is part number 56022. Here's what our wiring looks like installed. Now the reason you're going to want a 4-pole flat wiring harness on your Altima is if you're planning on towing a trailer, you got to have some form of a wiring harness in order to run your trailer lights so you can be safe and legal. And this will give you all of the basic lighting functions that you need. This white wire here, this provides the necessary ground connection between our Altima and our trailer. This brown wire here is our tail light and running light circuit. And on that circuit, we have a total power output of 6 amps, which is more than sufficient to tow a small trailer with several incandescent light bulbs or as many LEDs as we want, since they do draw less power. This yellow wire here is our left turn signal and left brake light. This green wire is our right turn signal and right brake light. And on each one of these wires, we have a total power output of 3 amps per wire. For running incandescent lights, we probably want to limit ourselves to about 3 light bulbs per side. LEDs, we can safely run more without any issues. One nice thing about this wiring harness is it does have a dust cover that will protect it when it's not in use to keep any dirt and debris from entering the connector, causing a poor connection. Now you notice this wiring harness is designed to be stored inside the vehicle, but we still have an adequate length of wire to get down to the receiver on our hitch. And when we're not using it, we can safely tuck it away inside of our trunk. We can lift up on our carpet here, stick it down inside our spare tire area, close up, and it's out of the way. We don't have to worry about snagging it on any cargo as we're loading in and out of our trunk. When we do want to use it, just grab it. We'll set it to the side of our latch here so it doesn't get pinched, lay it flat over our weather stripping, and close the trunk over it. Now when directly comparing this wiring harness to another very popular option on our website, the Takancha plug-in wiring harness, this does have more power output than the Takancha does. So this will give us a little more margin of error and a little bit more safety for towing a trailer that has incandescent light bulbs. We'll be able to safely and easily power all those lights on that trailer. Quick tech tip, even though this does store inside the vehicle, you can use some dielectric grease, which we have available on our website, to go inside the connector. And this will help better protect it from any corrosion. And you just close the dust cover over that. And now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. We're going to open our trunk to begin our install. Now we'll fold our floor liner forward. We're going to need to remove our threshold right here. And in order to do that, we'll have 3 plastic fasteners like this. The way these work, you can use a flathead screwdriver, pop out this intersection, and then pull the entire fastener out. Now we can grab our threshold and pull up on it to release it from the vehicle. Now on the driver's side of the vehicle, the rear cargo net attachment point, we need to remove this. In order to do that, there's a small little slot right here that you can slide in a flathead screwdriver. Just pop it back, and you can pull the whole thing out. This is just like the plastic fasteners we had earlier, just a different style. Passenger side's a little bit different. We don't have a cargo net attachment point over here, just another plastic fastener. We'll pop that out, same as we did the ones on the threshold. Now we can pull back on our carpet in the trunk and gain access to our tail light connector right here. You can actually pull this to separate it. And we'll press in on the tab to separate the connector. Now we can plug in our connector on the driver's side. This is the one that has the multi-different color wires going to it. Now this bottom nut here, it's an 8mm. This is one of the nuts that holds our taillight assembly in place. We're going to remove this on the driver's side. Now we'll take the ring terminal from our harness, stick it over that stud, and then reinstall the nut. This will provide the ground connection that we need for our trailer wiring to work properly. Now we'll take 1 end of a roll of black wire and we'll strip back some insulation. Now we'll take one of our yellow butt connectors, stick it over the wire that we just stripped, and we'll crimp it into place. Now we'll take this and we'll attach it to the black wire on our module. It's already pre-stripped, so you can just stick it in there and crimp it down. Now we'll take our module, we'll flip it over to where the side sticks up. We'll take our double-sided tape, peel off one side, press that firmly onto the back, and we're going to stick this into a location where it's out of the way inside of our vehicle. We're going to do it right here. I've already went ahead and cleaned off the surface with some rubbing alcohol. Press firmly, it'll hold it into position. We then took our connector with the green wire and routed it over from our module, following along the wiring harness behind our threshold, securing some of the zip ties, over to our passenger side. Now I'll pull back on the carpet on the passenger side, remove our connector from the side of the vehicle, press in on the tab to separate the tail light connector, and we'll plug the green wire connector into the wiring harness. This is what it looks like on the passenger side if our connection's made. Now we can snap our carpet back into place and reinstall our clips that hold it in place. Now at the very back of our trunk, right next to where our latch is and where the threshold was, we have this wire that goes through a grommet. We're going to pull the grommet out of the hole. Now we have access to it. Now we'll take a utility knife. We're going to cut a small hole in the grommet. We'll take the other end of our black power wire that we crimped to our module. We'll poke it through the hole, pull about a foot or so through the hole, place the wire through the hole that the grommet is in, and we can reinstall the grommet. Then we can reach up underneath the bumper cover and pull the rest of the wire through the grommet. Now we'll take the included silicone and seal where we made our cut. This will help prevent any exhaust fumes from entering the vehicle or any moisture. Now we can reinstall the rest of our interior panels. We routed our power wire to the front of the vehicle, making sure we avoided any moving parts and sources of heat. We're able to reach our power wire through this opening in the bumper cover. And then we pulled it down and routed it underneath this black panel. And we went over our rear subframe, making sure we avoided our exhaust. Routed it alongside the heat shield, between our heat shield and the fuel tank. Secured it to this bracket here and here. Then we dropped down a pull wire from our engine compartment and taped our power wire to it, and now we'll bring it up into the engine bay. We secured up our power wire to this wiring harness here that goes to our fuse box using one of our included zip ties. Now we'll cut off our excess wiring. We'll strip back some insulation. Crimp on one of our butt connectors. Take our fuse holder. The insulation's already stripped back a little bit, but we'll strip back a little bit more. Stick that inside the other end, and we'll crimp that down. Now this is our cover for our positive battery terminal. We're going to lift up on it and remove it so we have access to the 12mm nut here. So we're going to take off our insulation right there, remove a little bit more, crimp on our ring terminal, remove this 12mm nut, stick the ring terminal over that stud, reinstall the nut. Now open up our fuse holder and install our fuse. Reinstall our cover. Okay, now we're going to test out our lights. We're going to use a 4-pole flat trailer tester, which we have available on our website. It's part number I26. Start by turning on our headlights. And as you can see, our tail light and running light function's working. Now we'll do a left turn signal. That's working. Right turn signal. That's working. We'll step on the brakes, make sure our brake lights are working. And with our brakes on, we're going to double check and make sure all of our turn signals still work properly. Perfect. Everything's working like it's supposed to. And that completes our look at and showing you how to install the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number 56022, on this 2015 Nissan Altima.